Hello. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the 12th Let's Have a Beer Patreon stream. Plug in the laptop. Make sure that laptop stays good. All right, make sure everything looks good right now. Boop, boop, all right. Let's see. I just posted the link. How's it going, everybody? Everybody good? Oh, not that link. All right, there we go. No, all right. Go on YouTube, you dummy. All right, I think we're good. We're good. All right, what's happening, guys? How's it going? How you guys doing, huh? Who's texting me? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Looking at all the stuff here. Boop, boop, boop. Turn that down. Meow. Okay. All right. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? We got some people here. Yeah, that wasn't Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Not quite. What's going on, Stephanie? Good to see you. Good to see you. Tyler also. Yeah, last night was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that one. Good vodka stream to wrap up the year. What's going on, Jose? How you doing? Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. I know I'm debating, do I watch The Matrix after this, or do I put on a Christmas movie? I think I'm going to watch The Matrix after this. After this stream is done, I'm going to watch The Matrix. Well, I'm going to put on The Matrix. I'm going to do a little writing because there's something I want to do tomorrow. A couple things I'm going to be doing tomorrow, recording tomorrow that'll be for the Film Junkee Lives this week, which again, there will only be 2 Film Junkee Lives this week. And then I believe I'm gonna try to do a Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler discussion. I didn't record my spoiler review for Spider-Man No Way Home yet, sadly, because I just I was too busy catching up on other things today. So I just didn't have time to record it yet. So I'm going to do that tomorrow too, but I have something else that I also want to record. So yeah, it'll be good. Just watched it. Good, as you should, Mr. Fear Jason. Yeah, perfect timing. Just got back. Wow, just got back from basketball. There you go. Catching up on your Vox stream last night. It's always good to see Ray. Yeah, I was just like, you know what? I was just inviting just everyone, and I was like, you know what? Why not invite Ray? He shows up in the chat, so I was like, let's do that. And so glad he did, because man, that guy, I could listen to that guy just tell stories forever. I can just listen to him tell stories. Such a good dude, so down to earth, funny dude. It's funny too. I got a couple text messages from a friend, and then my mom, who was just like complimenting how great Ray is. And I was like, good. I'm glad people realize this guy is, he's just got a presence with his voice, and he could just joke around and just shoot the shit like that. It's awesome. I didn't catch any of the Matrix premiere. No, I saw pictures and stuff, but I didn't watch the live stream. It's no big deal. Red carpet events, cool. Lucky they get to see the movie tonight. Damn it. Gonna watch tomorrow. Woke up yesterday feeling under the weather. Still not feeling good today. Watch. Stay away from Jose, everybody. He's got the vid. He's got the Omicron, or whatever the fuck they call it. The Decepticon, whatever they're calling the new one. Whatever. Oops. What did I do that? All right. I was looking at too many different things. All right. So let me go ahead and we'll get this party started. Yeah, but I'll post my spoiler review of that tomorrow. I should have did it today, but I just was like trying to catch up on things because past 3 weekends I haven't been home, so I needed to catch up on cleaning. First off, jeez, I didn't even get all that done today. Yeah, I was like, all right, time to organize, time to wipe things down, vacuum it up. My living room looks nice. I didn't complete everything. I haven't cleaned my kitchen. I got to clean my kitchen. That I have to do. But I cleaned the bathroom and my living room. So did that. You don't want to neglect that, especially the bathroom. My God. Stream link. All right. Tell a story. Yeah, we're not gonna tell a story. All right. So we've got that. Boop. All right. There you go. Link has been sent to the patrons. So go check it out. Cheers to you, sir. Cheers. How dare you? Oh no. Just sore throat, body aches, the damn cold weather. Yeah. You know what? I've been actually pretty lucky. I don't know. I think it's just because now I've like I take like a way more vitamins than I used to. And I don't know. I haven't actually, and I'm probably gonna jinx the shit out of myself, but I haven't had any kind of real sickness since I had COVID. So cheers to that. It's all the vodka. I tell you, it's all the vodka you consume. It just kills all that stuff. It just sanitizes your insides, man. So I mean, it's just that. I mean, I'm just saying, alcohol does that. Vitamin D. Oh yeah, I take vitamin D, B, C. I take zinc. I take all that stuff, man. Every day. Just try to just take my candy. Yeah, I love how you call them Joes. Josie. All right, let's start pulling some of these guys. I had some Ronas on Thursday too, and then I woke up like this. Uh oh. Everybody stay away from Jose. Don't breathe his air. He's gonna wipe you out. All right, let's bring it in. We got Mr. Eric Blake. What's up, sir? And we got Deadpool. Also, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I heard candy. I heard candy. Where's the
candy? You heard candy? I know, right?
I absolutely heard candy. Where's the candy?
I know. There's some candy canes if you want. And we got Jacob. What's up, sir? Nice poster. Yeah. All right. We got Doug. What's going on, man?
Okay. All right.
Hi. I like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree you got in the background there. I like it.
Love it.
I need to get one of those because I never put up a tree. I should get something and put it right on the pub table over there. That'd be perfect for it. Get that little Charlie Brown. I know, right? So good. Dun, 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 dun. I know. I mean, that's a tradition right there to watch that every year.
Oh yeah. I just got a copy of it a few days ago.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah, I got Die Hard. I've got I've got the original Grinch. I've got White Christmas. I might get Polar Express at some point because I really like Polar Express.
Yeah, I was watching that today actually. Yeah. I had AMC on and I watched Fred Claus. Fred Claus is one of those movies that doesn't really get talked about enough, but I like it. I like Fred Claus.
Yeah, I mean, like Polar Express is very underrated, and I feel like it's because a lot of people have a beef with the animation. They say that it goes to Uncanny Valley. I mean, I've never noticed anything bad about it. The animation.
That's the great part about it. It's Tom Hanks. It's Robert Zemeckis. Come on, get over it. But
all right. By the way, like it's funny what you said about vodka, like being like cleaning out the innards. Because look what I got.
You got yourself some Smirnoff. Watch out.
Yeah, it is. Modorosha, vodka drinks you. Yeah. I don't just have the vodka. I mean, I also said, what the heck? I got some orange juice. Let's go all the way.
Oh, you're going screwdriver, huh? Nice.
Sorry, I am.
Nice. Hey, Phil, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm good. Just kind of living.
Yeah,
as one does. I'm all right, man. It's just been busy, to say the least.
Yeah. How's the job? How's the comic book shop?
It's cool. I wasn't really feeling well today, so unfortunately I had to call in. But hopefully that kind of clears up.
Oh, that's why you're wearing the mask. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saving us all. That's good, man. Hopefully you feel better. Yeah.
Trouble looking at this ugly mug under here.
Well, I don't know if we talked about this before. So you have a full-on comic shop. I forget if we talked about it before.
Oh, I don't own a shop.
He just works at one.
Work at a shop though. Yeah. Because when I finally get those indie comic projects on film, finally get some of them actually published. I don't know. I mean, I would love to see them on a shelf somewhere if you'd be interested.
Yeah, I don't make those kind of decisions.
Yeah, no, he could suggest it maybe.
Yeah, at least a suggestion or something.
Yeah. I mean, working in a comic book shop, it's got to be cool. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, I mean, I talked to Meg. I know she works at a comic book shop. She tells me like the bads sometimes.
I mean,
it's
it's got its ups and downs for sure,
Yeah.
like any other retail job would. But for the most part, I enjoy what I do. I get to price books. I get to see some really cool stuff that rolls in.
Yeah.
We have a lot of statues. We got a whole load of back issues, and we also, we got little, Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh sections and Pokemon as well because that's still exquisitely popular.
Nah.
It's a nice vibe for the most part, but
Yeah.
that's not to say it's not the most perfect shit on the planet.
Nah. Never, nothing ever is, I guess. But I mean, I remember when I worked at it or worked when I lived in a different town. There was like a comic book shop like right around the corner from my house, which is awesome. Sadly, it didn't last, but I would always go in there and talk to the owner for like 2 hours. Man, it was just one of those vibes where he was cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
He loved Man of Steel, BVS, all that. He was just, and I'd just go in there. I mean, that was when Rebirth was the
okay, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna like try to collect as much Rebirth as possible, and I would just go in there and just boop 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 boop, and just have a stack, and then we would just talk for like 2 hours, just right there while other people like checked out. It was fun.
Yeah,
cool.
the shop I work at now, I've been shopping there for at least over a decade since the first time I started college. So it's just been a really cool experience so far. I mean, I get to see a lot of people, a lot of different perspectives, see what sells as far as comic books go, and where I live. And I gotta say, there's a nice blend of, it's about 50-50 between Marvel stacks and DC stacks, and quite a bit of independent actually.
I'm sure there's been an influx of Spidey stuff that's been.
Oh yeah.
Because a little tiny movie just came out this weekend.
Oh yes.
Has everybody seen it? Well, first off, hi Jacob. How's it going, sir?
I'm all right. Wanted to be out with a girl today, but I mean, I found out she had a boyfriend. So on a Saturday night.
There you go. Yeah, he's getting white girl wasted. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. And then we got Doug here drinking out of the Justice League mug right there. What are you drinking in there?
Just a couple local stouts.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Scott and I were drinking out of our mugs last night. What's going on, Eric?
All right. So I got a screwdriver. You got the local stouts. All right. What are we all drinking again?
I got Sam Adams Winter Lager. I was feeling festive, so I got the seasonal beer.
All right. And Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. That's good.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. He wants to stay up all night.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I probably won't be drinking much of this because I started trying this out a couple last week actually because we were all thinking that maybe we could do this week. So I got it last week, and so I tried it out and I tried experimenting and all that, and I was like, whoa, this is knocking me down pretty quickly. I am not going to be drinking much of this tonight.
Amateur. You freaking amateur.
Well, I actually have to buy another bottle of wine here pretty soon because me and my co-host Craig are going to do a drunken commentary to Batman and Robin to kick off the end of the year.
Well, I like it.
Well, I don't know if y'all would want me drunk on the stream, so but
I don't know.
That's why I got this other one, and it's funny because yesterday actually you kind of drew inspiration for it, Dave, because last night you were drinking eggnog, so it's like, okay, fine, but sadly at Walmart, tonight there was only one nog that was currently on the shelf. I guess it was all quickly sold out because of the season, and this is Fireball's holiday nog. And I'm looking at this and I was like, okay.
No.
So I checked
Thank you.
No, right. Yeah. No, thanks. I'm good.
Man, I just can't. I can't with Fireball anymore.
I'd rather have
so anyway, but I tried it. I got 2 bottles. So I tried it, and it's like, okay, it's obvious that it's not authentic eggnog.
Yeah.
It's like, just the fact that it said holiday nog on the outside for a reason. Like, no, it's not. But it's a passable.
You were expecting some real holiday nog, weren't you?
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
It's like cinnamon milkshake. It's the best way I could describe it.
See, I couldn't do that. No way. Ugh.
No.
I mean, yeah. When Fireball came out and everybody was wanting it, and everybody was like, "Let's take a shot of Fireball," I got so just like, I don't really like the hot cinnamony kind of stuff. I mean, I don't mind it. When I'm chewing gum, but
the first time I ever had Fireball, I was out on my own. It was about 2014. Actually, it was early 2015. So right after Godzilla came out on physical release, and my roommate was like, "Oh, let's get super drunk and watch the new Godzilla movie." And he bought fucking a little thing of Fireball, and I was like, "Oh man!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" I was like, "That tastes like cinnamon nonsense. Like, come on, dude."
It really is.
All I could say is that this is non-alcoholic. I mean, the idea is that you could mix it with Fireball.
Oh, okay. So that's what it's a mixer. Okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It makes sense because I mean, obviously, usually, I mean, pre-mixed eggnog. I mean, I guess you'd have to go. I don't know. I had eggnog and I just mixed it with Captain Morgan. We also got William right here who's walking.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, look who it is. Hello.
Fireball eggnog.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about right now.
It's not even egg. It's just holiday nog. It's milk with cinnamon in it. It's milk.
I'm trying to get past the Fireball part.
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
This got a screwdriver. So
there you go. But he's actually got something that's kind of refreshing. So at least. So how's it going, William? How you doing?
Right now, I'm in the middle of a Matrix screening. We're giving away tickets for that. That's going on downstairs. So
dope.
Okay.
I'd seen that movie 4,000 times, so I figured I was
about to say I thought it was a new one. I was like, what?
No,
I was about to drive to Vegas right now.
Yeah, so we're giving tickets away for the new one. We have a pre-screening.
Oh, very cool.
And by the way, like we were discussing, you were discussing earlier this week about how I believe Carrie was talking about how a friend of his was like a philosophy major or whatever, was saying that the second and third movies were not as deep and as philosophical as the first one, and I was just while I agree that the first movie is the strongest of the three, there are some great moments in Reloaded, in Matrix Reloaded, that are actually my favorite in the franchise, like the sequence with the multiple Smiths showing up.
Yeah, and the fight on the freeway. To me, Matrix Reloaded is the best of the three.
Yeah.
Well, I agree to that.
At the very least, the multiple Smiths, their monologue about purpose is my favorite moment in the whole trilogy. Like, I killed you, Mr. Anderson. I watched you die with satisfaction, I might add.
That whole
Anderson. It is purpose that drives us, purpose that binds us. Like, I love that speech.
That whole scene with that, I mean, obviously when he's talking to the Oracle and then they leave, and then all of a sudden when Smith shows up and it's got that cool like slow motion shot with like crows like flying and with the music, and then he just starts explaining, like he starts explaining how he doesn't know how to explain how he exists still, kind of thing, and he's trying to like work it out, and then all of a sudden we see all the Smiths show up and it like does this nice little pan around with. Like, it's just such a beautiful. I mean, the Wachowskis, man.
Yeah, and just really like the best joke of the whole franchise is when he goes to like the other agents, is you, yes, me, and then he becomes Smith and goes, me too. Love that.
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, I always said that when it comes to at least the the fight choreography definitely improved in the second one, because I always say like, a couple times when Keanu Reeves does those backflips, you could see him kind of push up against those cables. And I'm like, dang, it's not a big deal. It doesn't take away. I still think that movie is like, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. But man, with the wire work and the choreography in Reloaded, and even in Revolutions, but especially Reloaded.
So I have a question for you, Dave. Do you think Resurrections is going to propel what we can do as far as cinema goes forward, just like the initial movie did years ago? Do you think it can live up to that task?
I don't know, man. I don't think. Huh? Yeah, I was talking. Yeah, well, I mean, everybody put their opinion in, but I think it's just with the way things are now and all these big movies. That's just that's something that's going to be very difficult to do. I don't know if it's going to do anything like that. Maybe we'll get something that's going to be interesting, cool, but I just don't know if it's going to. I mean, that bullet time shit, that was just, I mean, all of that in the, what a bullet time photography is just not going to, that was just something so revolutionary,
Right. Well, technology in general, too. If you look at the technology that we had in 1999, I mean, in this movie, we were laughing because there were telephone booths still around. Mm-hmm. And the leaps that were made from like 1980s to 1999 weren't as big as the leaps that have been made from 1999 till now. So that movie fit right in the technological gap that just didn't exist now. I don't think there's enough room. We haven't advanced enough to the point where a new movie would revolutionize anything that hasn't already been there yet. I think 2021 we're pretty much are where we are, and our belief factor is to the point where it's like Star Trek. I mean, when you see a Kirk with a communicator, and that was made in 1967, we expect that now. We expect that level of technology now, so it's different.
Yeah, communicator. This is the Motorola flip phone, and
essentially that's what it was.
Yeah, essentially it's outdated now, which is ironic.
Now we laugh at people with those. So,
but what I was always curious is like, how are they gonna, now that we have where we're at now with technology, like how are they gonna approach the Matrix? No, there's not gonna be any landlines, phone booths. It seems to be now it's portals, which I think, all right, cool. They're going through like the mirrors. I mean, I saw the clip and it was like, all right, so they're kind of jumping around. I don't know if they're jumping in and out. I don't know how I'm wondering how they jack into it, or, I know they can jump through portals. That's about it. But I don't know the whole in and out kind of thing. I'm kind of wondering. And it also seems like there's like an extra plug now.
Yeah.
Like there's like the neck and then in the head. Yeah. There's like a bigger plug now. That was really, that last poster that they posted the other day was sexy as hell. Jesus Christ. But I was like, damn, that is a huge plug now. Like there's two. Interesting. So I'm curious about that. A lot of questions that I'm looking forward to seeing answered.
Hey, before we go on, I thought y'all might get a kick out of this.
Oh, bacon gives me. Oh yeah, that's everyone's reason to get out of bed. Hell yeah.
Before I gave up pork, yeah, it was.
You gave up pork?
Yeah, I had to give up certain things because cholesterol levels in my family. So we just
understandable.
We want to add a couple of years onto the carcass,
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Pork.
I cut out the alcohol in 74, so
74. Yeah, well, we'll drink for you.
Wait.
Not me. I'm drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Well, since our brother here decided to go Deadpool, I decided might as well in honor of Nightmare Alley.
There you go. Oh, did you watch that?
No, I have not. But it's just
it's right up your alley
now, because most of my extra income this month was spent, with presents for the family. I'm just thinking, okay, with the amount that I'm going to have by the end of the month, do I go to Spider-Man? Do I go to Nightmare Alley? Do I hope I will have enough for both?
If you haven't seen Spider-Man, you've been in Vegas, I would have been able to take care of you because we rented out a theater for No Way Home.
Right,
yeah, we went out there, and a couple days before we gave away tickets to Nightmare Alley.
Oh wow!
You could have not spent one dime.
Yeah.
So just got a little
in Vegas.
So you haven't seen Spider-Man, Eric?
No, I haven't. So it's
wow.
Question, not yet. But I just there's a friend of mine now. He and I go to the movies, often on a regular basis. Like we went together to see a Dune when it came out. So it's just we were planning on doing that, but just when we do, But then I was reminded by y'all that Nightmare Alley. I love me some noir. It's like,
oh yeah, you'll get that big time. Del Toro, man. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna ask you this, Dave. How's the music?
The music's great. Music's great. Yeah.
I agree.
Smooth jazz and all that? Or is it?
Yeah, it's got some, but mainly, just got a nice little score that just goes right with the what you're seeing on the screen. I was even talking to Scott about it because obviously he saw it before we did Batman tonight. And there's some scenes in there specifically between Bradley Cooper and Cate Blanchett that are very just that old timey noir, just the back and forth, the exchange. Just they really nailed that kind of that very noir type dialogue back and forth that they used to have.
I just love me some Raymond Chandler, that kind of right. Oh
yeah, you'll enjoy it. And then Del Toro does good with gore. Like, I mean, it's not. I can't even say it's subtle gore, but like when there's like stuff that happens, like he will not be afraid to show you. Like someone gets run over by a car, you're gonna see what that person looks like after. It's like, and it's like, oh shit,
Yeah. People forget he's a horror director.
Yeah, I know. That's what's so great about it. Because I mean, yeah, and he builds up this movie like it's like, is there something supernatural's going on here? And like you're kind of going back and forth. I mean, it's got to do with mentalism, which is cool.
Didn't he just post a picture of his latest? Like he's shooting another film now, I think. And
what is he doing? He's not doing that. He's doing a Pinocchio or something like that.
I think so.
Right?
I don't remember.
Horrifying. That's going to be awesome. Horrifying.
Yeah, that's going to be not the Disney version of Pinocchio. That's for damn sure.
We're going to screw up some childhoods with that one.
Oh yeah. It's like kids. Well, it's always funny because it's like the same thing with Mowgli. I mean, that wasn't the Jungle Book that was your bare necessity. Wasn't that?
It's not the bare necessities Jungle Book. No, you're right.
No, that was hardcore. Like, whoa, that's.
I would like to see him do Alice in Wonderland as Carol when he was drug induced and he wrote it.
Oh God,
there you go.
Oh man,
I would not be surprised.
What about like a real take on the real story of the Little Mermaid? That would be terrible.
Oh my lord,
that would just horrify people.
Dark tragic. I don't know.
That's dark.
Man.
Tom Hanks, remember that movie?
Which one?
Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, Splash. Yeah, I remember Splash. Yeah, Splash was great. That was Ron Howard, right? Yeah.
Ron Howard. That's when he was first. I think that was his first directorial, wasn't it? I think that might have been his first directorial.
I think you actually might be right about that. Yeah.
1984, 1985. Wow.
That was when, like, you could literally show just a naked woman walking in a PG movie.
In a PG movie.
Yeah.
But she
just bare ass, just right there. And it was like great when you're a young one. You're like, oh, look at that,
Booty.
But, yeah, and then of course when it got put on Disney Plus, they like extended her hair to cover it. I'm like,
yeah,
so which I can understand for their business purposes because of their platform. There's always going to be the version you want. You can always go whatever.
That being said, if they're censoring a Splash, but they've got Simpsons on Disney Plus now. So
cartoon booty versus real human booty is probably going to be.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, big
difference between animation and live action.
Very true. Very, very true. So
now that said, like kudos to a Disney for like allowing Peter Jackson when he did the Beatles 3-parter get back. That he says we're not going to be like bleeping out anything that they say. So
they would have had to bleep out the whole damn thing because they were cussing.
Yeah. So how many have you seen get back? Like on
I've seen part.
There's only been the first part, right? Only been the first part, or has it been all three?
All three are on. All three.
No, I've only watched the first part. Then,
I've only watched the first part as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've seen all three. It's like, wow, this is so great because really, so many there has been this standard view towards exactly what happened with the Beatles in like that last year, like the last years of their like career as the Beatles, and like everyone thinks that they just got more and more testy with each other until finally it's like screw it, and then they all went. But really, like, and as like Peter Jackson himself said that because we all believe that, I was very nervous when I got this footage. I was afraid of what I was going to see, and then when I saw it, it's like, no, this is nothing like what we thought. It was much better. It was actually much better. Because really, what it was that watching this, you get the idea that even though it doesn't go to them breaking up, you get the idea watching it that there were some issues, but ultimately, like, they were all still friends. And the reason that they went their separate ways ultimately was just they were getting older. It was just they were just getting older, and their lives were all leaning towards, hey, we got our own stuff to do.
They grew apart.
Yeah, well, you kind of see that in the first one. There's like a part in the first part where Paul kind of gets a little testy. He like with everybody. He's like I think the pressure was just getting to him, or whatever the fuck, But you could see a little bit, and then of course when Yoko starts wailing in that microphone, you're like, Jesus Christ!
And then
dying freaking pterodactyl. Yeah, jeez.
Of course, at the end of part one, of course, you see that's when George gets a little like, screw this, I'm gone. But yeah, I don't have to. Of course,
the funny thing about that is if had John Lennon lived, they would have got back together.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So when we have it left without an ending, people always think about the Beatles breakup, but just like any other band, how many bands that are in existence today, Aerosmith broke up and then went on to have their best period of their entire careers.
Oh yeah, so, I mean, how many times did Pink Floyd, like, they broke up and got back, but now they hate each other? They've always hated each other. Same with the Eagles. They always had a, you know, but they'd always get back together for some kind of tour, you know.
There's only one place you can get that magic, and it's on stage with each other. I mean,
exactly. Now they would have definitely got back together for sure.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, while I'm watching this 3-parter, I'm also like having like at hand like the chart of, like, you know, all like the songs that are on their last 2 albums, Abbey Road and Let It Be. And I was like, okay, and I'm checking off, okay, each song that they think about and put together over the course of this. And then by the end of it, there's only like 3 songs left for Abbey Road. And then that's pretty much that they haven't done yet. That's pretty much it by that time. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they were very prolific in their production, and they weren't together very long, relatively.
Yeah,
they really weren't. You know, if you think of from the Ed Sullivan Show, or just from 1962 all the way on, they were broke up by 1970 for the most part. That's 8 years is not a long time. You figure the Stones have been together longer, almost as long as my parents have been alive.
Yeah.
So, and one member dies, they perform the next week. I mean, that's just what they do, man.
Exactly.
You know? So
it's crazy.
But who hasn't seen Spider-Man besides you, Eric?
Yeah, Doug, have you seen it?
I have not. Somebody just recommended it to me yesterday, and so I need
no, you're not talking about Get Back. We're talking about Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man?
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, what'd you think?
Saw it twice. Saw it on IMAX Thursday. Wow. Liked it. Thought I had some problems with the first act and all that. Not going to get into spoilers or anything like that.
Yeah, it's really hard to talk about.
Yeah, we're not talking spoilers yet.
No, but just say that I'm not huge on the MCU. I love it. And then I love this movie. It was saw it again second time. My wife didn't know what was coming. Anything really. And she loved it. It's probably top 5 MCU for me. And it's really intriguing. Really intriguing.
I have it as number 3. I have it as number 3 of all Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I have it behind Into the Spider-Verse, which is my top one, and Spider-Man 2, and it follows up there. And that's not an insult to that movie. It's just I hold those other 2 in such high regard. For somebody, I like the MCU, and I like Tom Holland Spider-Man. I do not like the blend. I think I've always hated that. Without going into any spoilers, and I won't, I left the movie theater happy.
Yeah. I think everybody pretty much did. I mean, it's the worst kept secret in Hollywood with some spoilers. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I don't want to be that guy. So.
Yeah, I know. It's always very weird because it's like everybody knows, like,
it's like everyone knows that the answer to that $1 million question, even though I haven't seen it. We all know Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Toby and Tom again, but we can't say
it. The cool thing about that is all 58 people that we had in our cinema, everybody knew that too.
Yeah,
it didn't change.
It doesn't.
When that happens, it didn't change. I'm sorry.
I mean, again, isn't it sad? We all know what we're talking about, but we can't just say it.
But the level of excitement
when they show up.
It was really cool. But my I don't know about your screening, but my screen was kind of blurred. It had John Cambia's watermark all over the screen. It was a little weird.
I paid for my screening. I paid for the whole theater. We didn't even do trailers. At my request, we went right into the movie. We didn't do any trailers. Half-hour trailers. We had people dressed up in costumes. We were taking pictures. The concession line, it was as expensive as this stuff is. That thing was wrapped around. And I'm like, half of our people, we had to push our screening back because I didn't want half the people waiting in line because I wasn't going through any trailers. So we went right into it, and it was when that moment happened. Like I said, you know, it met its expectations. All of the expectations, all the rumors met their expectations. I'll leave it at that.
It was just really cool to see a hype, full theater, people going nuts. I went to a 20 theater cinema, and they probably had 15 of the theaters showing it on Thursday night. It was bonkers. It was a lot of fun to be at the theater again.
All 9 of ours did. All 9 of ours had it. You know what sucked about that? is they kept the doors open. So for the people who didn't want to get spoiled, if you were coming to or going to the bathroom, each theater had it playing in different succession. So if you heard something you didn't want to be spoiled, you had to run back to your theater. It was hilarious, but I had pretty much known what was going to happen prior to, because I didn't want to. I wanted to know that I have to flee my own theater that I rented if certain things didn't happen. Because I wasn't going to be, you want to rip the thing up, I got insurance. But I wanted to know just what the satisfaction level, what to expect. So
I mean, even like with stuff that's in the trailer, like when Octavius shows up, I mean, people still freaking cheered and clapped for that, even though we've seen that "Hello, Peter" thing so many damn times. It was just nice to see the freaking bridge scene end. Because we finally got off the freaking bridge, man.
I know, because I've been replaying in my head since the trailer. Norman Osborn, this isn't a spoiler. He shines in this movie.
Oh yeah, Willem Dafoe.
William Dafoe. Whatever I think about his first appearance in the original movie, this augments all of them. Everybody who's in this movie, villain-wise, they took them from where they were at and took them a step higher, especially him. And he's not wearing. You already seen some of the trailers where he's not wearing the mask. That is a plus.
Oh yeah, you got to show that Willem Dafoe face. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard. I heard that there's actually an in-universe reason for why Electro no longer looks the way he did in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like in Spider-Man 2, he was blue. Here he's yellow.
They explain it in the movie without spoiling it.
Back to Dafoe, just talking about Dafoe, I think the fact that I heard an interview with him and he's like, yeah, I wasn't going to do it unless I could do all my own stunts. Yeah. And I'm like, the guy's 66. I thought that was great. And he was so committed to it.
Now, and I'm 20 years younger.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he was excellent in this movie. The whole movie was the most Spider-Man of all of Tom Holland's appearances. It was the first time that I ever went into a movie where he was dressed up as Spider-Man, where I actually felt they were doing Spider-Man. And the clutter
with him, Yeah, I mean, like when it comes to the three Spidey movies, I like Homecoming. Yeah. Far From Home, just kind of, I go, that's cool. That's cool.
Seriously.
But when it came to this, it's like, when it it has a little rough start, but it's not as bad as Far From Home for sure. I mean, it still has to establish, continue the story with with Peter and his friends. I get that, but then sometimes I'm like, just get to Doctor Strange. Come on, let's go. Let's bring on everybody else. And then when that started happening, it's just like, all right, this is just a fucking 20 years nostalgic, just Spidey.
Even if you were a movie fan, you just bought the comics. There are certain things in there that scream out. This is a comic book. This was finally a comic book movie.
Well,
like I said,
they made a point.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because if you pay close enough attention, there just might be a fourth Spider-Man in this movie. If you pay really close attention, it's not quite a in-your-face look, but in a thematic sense, if you've seen the movie, you might make some sense of it.
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
So if you pay close enough attention, there is kind of technically a fourth Spider-Man in this movie.
Are you talking about the mention of?
No, that is not what I'm talking about at all.
Oh, interesting. Dude, you're gonna need to message me with that one, man. I watched. There was a lot
that
of
is interesting.
And as far as like faithfulness to like the comics are concerned, like I mean, obviously they made Electro look more like his classic look as opposed to But as far as believing that Tom Holland is a true Spider-Man, I mean, this was a funny thing, and I talked about this since Homecoming came out. That finally there is an in-universe explanation for Peter Parker's monologues. Whereas, because reading the comics, I mean, is he bending the fourth wall and talking to the reader, or is he just talking to himself? I mean, who is he talking to when he's giving these joking monologues? Well, in Homecoming, he's talking to the suit. Well, okay, that's a good explanation.
Well, I mean, that's a good point. But I mean, I think I said it in my review, or I don't know, and but I'm just kind of saying, like, man, Tom Holland Spider-Man got the biggest origin story ever. I mean, let's face it, he had like 5 movies where it was just like an origin story of like this kid depending on everybody else, and then all of a sudden, like, when you finally get to where this goes, you're like, all right, that's it. That was the entire origin story of this Peter Parker. Now it almost seemed like Sony was like, all right, we good now? We good? Yeah. Can we actually send this guy off by himself? Because, okay, cool. That's what I thought about it.
For me, the best thing about this movie, without giving anything away, it felt to me that Sony was still in bed with MCU for availability and things that they will need to do down the line.
Of course.
But that Sony...
Okay, sorry.
Stop me if I'm saying something wrong.
No. I just got a message of what what Phil was talking about. And I'm like,
send me that, please, because I want to know what you're talking about, because I definitely missed it.
I can see that. Yeah.
Taking control of this. They were taking control of the narrative of their character from the beginning of this movie all the way up until how everything was resolved. So,
so considering how Doctor Strange has such a prominent role in the movie.
What's that? Say that again.
I mean, I imagine. Now the MCU is like, still like has a grip over the Spider-Man films, considering how important Doctor Strange is.
Okay. So like when that whole thing, when they were talking about how like, oh yeah, like he's gonna be the new mentor or whatever the heck, I didn't really feel that. I didn't really feel that Doctor Strange was like, oh, he's trying to be the new Tony Stark kind of thing. I didn't really feel that too much. I don't know. So I remember that came out. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but to me, it just didn't feel like he was, like it felt like it was too, like he was trying to find a new Tony or something like that. But he was just mainly, he just wanted, to fix his life and the life of his friends and family.
I don't want to speak too much on this.
I know. See, that's the thing. We're like
treads into such territory that leads.
We are so tiptoeing around the cracks.
I'll just say I didn't. No, go ahead.
I gotta ask this though. We're talking about this being a good long 3-part Spider-Man origin story for Tom Holland's Peter, but okay, I don't recall there being any real mention of Uncle Ben in the second movie. Now there was a quick almost aside mention of him in the first movie, but look, I don't know if this is asking for a spoiler answer or not, but
it is.
Is he mentioned at all in the third?
It is. Just just wait.
You can't answer that question without Jack.
You really can't. I mean, like it's the way that there's an Uncle Ben mention. It's really awesome. And just watch it. That's getting into big time. Like, okay, we shouldn't. Yeah, there's some stuff, but the callbacks are great. I will admit that at first I was like, oh, man, is Jamie Foxx just kind of leaning into the campy just a little bit too much? Like he's just kind of be like, I'm like, this doesn't really remind me of but then it got better as it went on. I was like, okay. But at first I was kind of going, when they were all arriving, it was like, yeah, it's cool. But then all of a sudden it just like started getting little too goofy, a little too campy at times. But then I was like, and then it relaxed a little bit. I was like, okay, I'm good. And then, like the second half is just,
the second half is bonkers and it moves quick.
Oh man, it moves quick and it's so you just feel like roller coaster of emotions, man.
Yeah, there were grown. I had people crying in my.
I was crying,
dude. Yeah, I bawled at certain points.
Dave, man. Give up the man card, man. You can't be.
Oh yeah, totally. I don't give a shit. No. That makes my man card better. Don't
worry about man tears or anything like that. You ever heard of Brian's song?
Exactly.
I didn't cry that either. We saw that in school.
No, Dave. I will say the second time I saw it, I heard your spoiler-free review and I agreed. I didn't love how it took some time to get going, but I think on the second time, I paid attention and caught a lot more details. And I think it's necessary for the drama to build. And I think everything had its place and it moved a little bit better for me. And I really enjoyed it the second time just as much, if not more.
And I know I'm going to also, because it was just, just walking away was feeling so great about it. And I'm like, all right, second time is going to be even better. Cause now, it's like that with everything, what to expect already. And then you start seeing other things too and everything. So
the only thing I won't be able to relive a second time is the people's initial reactions to certain things.
That's why you go opening night. Yeah. that's why you go, Jacob. Jacob, though, what were your emotions? Did you cry too? I know you did. Come on,
I was like,
admit it.
Choked up like the whole entire second half of the movie. And I think if I watch it again, I'll probably bawl my eyes out.
Yeah.
I mean, like I did. I mean, there's just one time in watching the movies in theaters that I recall getting all teary-eyed and so on was Interstellar, and it is, y'all know why. Like that scene where Matthew McConaughey is looking at all the recordings from his kids as they're growing up, and he just breaks down, and like I felt that when I'm watching that, I'm crying.
Closest I came to crying was Philadelphia when Tom Hanks' character, spoiler alert, it's a 20-year-old movie, but when his character was finally passing away of AIDS, that was the closest, and I held it then. But the last time I actually bawled out was when I was 6 when we saw E.T.
Oh, wow. Only two movies have made me bawl this year. That's Zack Snyder's Justice League and Spider-Man: No Way Home. Those are the only two superhero movies that have made me like well up.
Well, when it comes to Zack Snyder's Justice League, and when it was started, I had tears in my eyes. But I wasn't like, I didn't like bawl. Like there's a difference between bawling and just like tears in your eyes. When it came
several times for me.
Yeah. No, but like when I was watching Spider-Man, it was just like I would just have watery eyes, and then occasionally just like just wipe it off real quick and lump in the throat. But I wasn't. But when it came to, if you guys saw like my initial reaction after I watched it, I basically was like, kind of thing. So, yeah.
Like the one time I ever remember like bawling with a movie was Interstellar again. But I don't remember. But
that's good.
Well, Hans Zimmer's score can make you tear up because that guy can pull it out of you, man. Hell, Dunkirk, hearing when Tom Hardy's last scene where he lands a plane and they're playing that version 5. That's a compelling. That guy knows how to get it done. I mean, and that's why I want Hans Zimmer doing everything.
Dunkirk.
Yeah, Dunkirk was the best movie of that year. I don't know how it didn't win everything. So, hey guys, Matrix is wrapping up, so I got to go sign some people up. Junkee, you need to come back out to Vegas, man.
I know. Well, I was there for Thanksgiving, but I had no control of where I was going. I didn't drive, so.
Man, I had, dude, if we'd have met up, I had a stripper dressed up as a plumber, and I was going to surprise you with it.
Oh, jeez. Never going to let that down. Never going to let it down, are you?
And she's like, is this guy showing up? And I'm like, I don't know if he's showing up. He's with family. But and then I ended up having to pay her. And the whole outfit, wrenches and stuff. She had a pipe. She had a church shirt.
She had a Mario hat on. Her butt crack out.
Yeah, she had that. No mustache. And I'm like, he's going to show. Finally, after a couple hours, I realized you weren't coming, so we.
How are you keeping a straight face when you're saying this?
Yeah, it takes a long time to set up a pole at this place, man. Stripper pole. You got to brace it to the pole.
Next time, I'll let you know, and then you could rehire, and then we'll make it.
It will be strippers.
All right, guys. Finally, one way or another, we would have women on the member stream.
There's some women on the member stream. What are you talking about?
Not on the stream itself.
Oh, are you talking about on this stream, the Patreon stream?
On the Patreon stream, yes.
Oh, yeah, I know. That would be sweet, right? Yeah.
It's a sausage fest every single episode. I don't know.
It's just that's just the way it is. You look at my audience; it's like 94.6% dudes. Right? Yeah. What did I say?
Yeah. And it's not as if you haven't been trying to attract the ladies into the Patreon with all your talk about G-strings and all that crap.
Jeez. Hey, it's whatever. It's not on purpose. I'm just talking about whatever. So hey, you can't force people into being a part of things. But what can you do? But so Eric, so you're the only one that hasn't seen it, man. Yeah, get on that.
That's a shame.
Get on it.
Look. Okay, like I said, I've been trying. I was bugging this guy. I've been bugging this friend of mine. Hey, why don't we do it? Let's watch it.
Go by yourself. What's wrong?
I know. But okay. Yeah. But like I said, money, dear boy.
That's true. That's money. Yeah, that's a big thing. But yeah, there's that, and then of course, obviously we got I've been listening to the Matrix soundtrack, which sounds awesome. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. It's like 2.5 hours long, but they dropped that on the YouTube.
Did you check out Sebastian Baum's cover of Wake Up?
No.
Oh, dude.
You have to,
pretty rocking. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's
tonight.
Pretty awesome because he did the same thing for what was it, Blue Monday for Wonder Woman 84.
Oh man, that version pops so much, man. That's on like there's a commercial that has that version, and I'm just like, it just reminds me of that first trailer of Wonder Woman 84, and it was like, man, remember how like everybody else was just like, we all were just like, oh man, this movie gonna be special, and well,
I'm pretty sure Sebastian Baum's version is the one in the trailer.
Is the what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sebastian Baum's version of Blue Monday is the version that's in the trailer. Like,
yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like he also did a version of Sweet Dreams, which someone used for like a fan trailer for the Snyder cut of a Sucker Punch. And it's a perfectly fit because Sweet Dreams, of course, was used in the original trailers.
Yeah, that's right.
It really worked.
Pops, man.
Real.
So what are you guys' thoughts about the recent well, first off, I guess we haven't talked in a while. I mean, I guess we could start off with like because we kind of talked about it yesterday, especially when Ray Porter, like when he brought it up, he talked about turkeys and stuff like that. I mean, obviously we have Zach posting that with Final Crisis.
Oh, hey, speaking of which, my shop actually had all of Final Crisis, so I've got all 7 issues, and I'm working my way through it right now. I've got I'm on issue number 3.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't have the omnibus, but I got I think it's just the regular version. It's like in my closet.
Yeah, I read the main story about 10 years ago from Grant Morrison because that dude's just nuts. I love his writing so much.
Of course. Yeah. And it's just funny though when you watch like a story that's as complex as that, it's like you can't. I mean, the most difficult thing is like, I mean, that's why I always say that these stories just. If you're gonna do, you just got to pay homage to him. You can't just do a straight up. If you're gonna do a straight up adaptation, you just got to throw out any kind of. All right, people just know who these characters are because you can't. There's just so much that happens in like stories like this where you can't just do like a full on
comic outright.
No, you just got to pull portions. That's why, like, I mean, BVS has stuff from all. It's got a little, bits of here and there.
I had a revelation today about the version of the Joker that was in the Snyder cut towards the end of the movie, because at some point it is kind of reflective of Grant Morrison's take on Joker, knowing about his super sanity and how he's very much just aware of the fact that he's insane. But if you take that concept and you apply it to this Joker who's in an apocalyptic wasteland and there's literally nothing else for him to just do chaotically, chaos literally just runs rampant across this world. He's now in a position where he has to put himself in like an influencing type of position where he must balance it back out. And that's why he tells Batman, of all the things you could do, of all the multiple timelines that could happen, you can't die yourself to save it.
That's a good point, because it's like, he's got nothing else. He's got nothing else to do. So it's like, all right, I'll team up with you, but I'm gonna fuck with you the entire time.
You know what that idea reminds me of about like him having to restore sanity, work to restore sanity in the world in order for him to function. That reminds me of the band, the punk band, the Ramones. Someone asked the guy, I forget his name, but who was the head of the Ramones, why he was like, this was the 80s. Why are you look, you're a rebel group and all that. Why are you a Ronald Reagan supporter? And he said, well, look, I always knew, ever since my childhood, I always knew that I was destined to be a rebel. But I also always knew that I needed a society to rebel against.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, but I like that.
Snyder mentioned that he was kind of like a shaman in a certain sense at some point. I remember that being briefly mentioned, but I could be misremembering that. But
in a world of chaos, who's better to lead the way?
Exactly.
away.
God damn it, man. That's why it's like, can we, I mean, you know, and it's funny too, because I know I lit a match when I said I'd be okay with a graphic novel, and you know, all of a sudden it was like, oh boy. But I mean, I'm like, there's a difference between being okay with and wanting, obviously.
And by the way, did none of those people notice that you specifically said that, as far as you were concerned, there was a very good chance that if it were released in a graphic novel, the popularity of that graphic novel would lead to a movie adaptation of it.
Yeah. I mentioned that too, where it's like, you know, that could put some more pressure, if you know, on them trying to do something live action with it. I mean, you know, and then, you know, obviously there would be some people like, well, that would spoil the story. And I'm like, how much of the Snyder Cut got spoiled for us? I mean, that basically showed us the end. I mean, he showed us so much. I mean, yeah, there were some things that we did not expect, you know, that he added in there, which of course, that's what's so great about him is like, obviously he, when he was promoting things for the Snyder Cut and showing, you know, storyboards and unfinished shots, he was showing a lot of things, but then there were still surprises that he was able to put in there.
The War Machine, I don't think was ever shown once.
No,
until the promotional
or like, you know, when Lois was torched. I mean, nobody was like, I mean, that was such a shock. And Wonder Woman dead.
Yeah.
Aquaman getting stabbed by Darkseid. I mean, Jesus Christ.
And also what apparently was a big surprise to everyone but me was the nature of the pregnancy. I mean, I'm still upset. I'm still
the dead Kilowog.
Letting this go. I'm not letting this go. But some people were like getting on my case, telling me that, oh, you know, Zack was just, you know, applauding your creativity. But you know, no. Bruce is the father. And it's like, no. And we turned out that I was right.
No. I mean, yeah, that whole thing was in the original. Whiteboards, but I mean that was like kind of like I mean, he was able still to keep some things a secret, which was good, but for the most part it was like we basically knew a lot about the movie. I mean if it was like initial marketing, nobody would have known probably that there was Darkseid in the movie. I mean, I think like initially they weren't going to probably reveal that Darkseid was in the movie.
I mean like the only talk about there being Darkseid was Kevin Smith's like report, like in January.
That was way after, though. You know, I'm talking about if this was back in 2017, and I think in any of the trailers there might have been like like just nothing. You know.
Yeah.
What?
This question of like who is Steppenwolf talking to when he says no protectors here, no lanterns, There's a question of who he's talking to.
I think you know, shifting that whole conversation from just having it be from Desaad to the mother boxes was just a poor creative decision on, you know, whoever decided to take over the reins of that, among many other creative decisions that were just bad ones.
Yeah.
When the initial footage, they didn't really need to do any reshoots. Like all they had to make the movie was right there in front of them, and they just wasted so much money doing so. And it's like,
because it must be cut down to maximize screen. Okay. And by the way, you know, that line of reasoning ended in the 2000s with Lord of the Rings. How stupid, how stuck in the past can you be to think that
some of these suits are like that, man? It sucks.
That you have to cut it down to 2 hours.
Well, the guy's not there anymore. Kevin Tsujihara was allegedly the one who was like, it needs to be 2 hours, and it's just like, you know, the last movie you guys did before this one was 3 hours on a director's cut, right?
And everybody liked that one better. It's like, you know,
again, it is the classic definition of insanity: doing the exact same thing over and over, the same kind of circumstance, and expecting a different result.
Look, you know, not to toot my own horn, but again, you know, Dave mentioned I work at a comic book store, and I get a lot of conversations from a lot of different people. And more often than not, this is the ironic part, I hear people tell me, I shit you not, you know, I wasn't a fan of the Eternals. I want more of what Zack Snyder was doing with the Justice League. And it's like, you can't lie about this shit, dude.
The guy was
this is not on the internet. This is in the real world.
And he was such ahead of the curve. And it's like when people are coming around now, we're like, yeah, we try to tell you. It's like we try to tell you what was going on here. And that's what I loved about when Justice League came out. When his Justice League came out, it was like people went back and started watching Man of Steel and BVS and went, oh, okay, now I get what he was doing. It's like, yeah. we tried to tell you for 6 years, whatever the fuck it was. I mean, Jesus Christ. We were trying to tell you where we were trying to get to, and then I mean that even happened on that vodka stream when Mario, Mr. Mario, like he was never too keen on Zack Snyder's Superman, and he's a big Superman fan. And one of the first things he said was, "Okay, now I get where he's going. I totally love what he did now. The way that he saw Superman was like, oh yeah, that's the Superman that I was wanting. I get what it took to get him to that point. Okay, and it's like, yes, there you go."
And it's almost a similar situation now with Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yeah, right.
Totally agree.
It's so weird.
Totally agree.
Jesus
so weird.
Christ, because they really,
and it's ironic because when Marvel Studios does something really excellent, they deserve all the credit. And I honestly feel like Spider-Man No Way Home falls into that category. Especially after everything they've gone through with that version of Spider-Man. And I know you're not a fan of Far From Home, and I totally understand. I look at that movie and I'm like, okay, that movie took inspiration from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, in that it took Spider-Man out of New York because he just wanted to travel, what have you, But I get it. Like it is not the favorable one of the bunch.
But I mean, it's definitely the weaker one of the three. But there's still some. I mean, the Mysterio scenes when he's fucking with Spider-Man, those are some of really great scenes. Yeah. I mean, there's some really great scenes in there, like when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's ironic though, because as far as I'm concerned, like with Far From Home, Mysterio both has the best sequence in the movie with his screwing with Spider-Man's mind with the visions, and he's got the worst scene where he's telling his henchmen who already know the backstory, and he's telling them the backstory. This is the worst kind of expositional dialogue ever.
Yeah, that scene was a little bit. Yeah.
So I remember I was in the theater watching this, and I was like, "This is bull crap. What are you doing?" It's obvious. It's so painfully obvious. He's only telling it to the audience, but he's going on this monologue where he's like telling the other henchmen about their backstory that they were all involved in. What is?
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, it had to be a big exposition.
Lazy.
Yeah, I mean, the writing was rough. It definitely was rough, but it had its moments of like great Spidey, like when he basically had to like use his sense to just like figure out how to
dismantle the drones and get
drones.
To Mysterio.
That was just really awesome.
Right.
The final act was pretty strong.
Peter, I don't think I'll defend any creative decision that has them pulling away from Spider-Man's lore and adding it from Iron Man's lore, in this sense of having every villain kind of have ties to Tony Stark. I can definitely understand that criticism and why it would bother some people.
Yeah. Well, by the way, Peter Tingle, please, please tell me that they get rid of that stupid Peter Tingle term.
Just watch the movie. We're not saying anything else. We're not saying anything else.
Well, at least
that's all.
But I will say this, Eric. It's not annoying in this one. When maybe it's mentioned, there can be actually something added to it where it was kind of like, all right, other people talking. Anyways, we'll just leave it at there. It's not how it is in Far From Home, where it's just like full on, let's make a big joke, call it Peter Tingle. But they weren't going to let go of that, Eric. Come on, they weren't. But it's not that bad this time.
I
will say they do a good job at poking fun at some of the shit that they've
gotten
criticisms for. There's one poster in there that I was like, oh, yep, there we go.
Oh yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about too.
I think you know exactly which one I'm talking about.
Yep. And I was like, yep, there you go. You guys did a good job. Now they really upped it. Everything got. I mean, even like a lot of people. I love the fact that Fantastic Four was trending after this because John Watts is going to direct it, and everybody's kind of going, "All right, you sold us, man."
But by the way, Fantastic Four. You know what the irony of that is? I think that ironically, the best way to bring in Reed Richards and his crew into the MCU is that he has sort of. I had this idea in my head that he and Tony were roommates in college.
That'd be interesting because we all know like somebody bought Stark Tower and everybody's kind of wondering if it's.
I mean, it was either.
It
was
could be
either
the Baxter Building.
Yeah, the new Baxter
like
Building. So.
Fisk Tower or
Oscorp. I don't know.
Oscorp. Yeah, that's another good one.
I mean,
when I was thinking about Reed Richards and who they should cast, I just keep going back to who they have for Kang. Like cast Jonathan Majors and make it the real family line. That's my humble opinion on the whole situation.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because like honestly, it would be ideal that it's the Baxter Building now, because that tower has been like in the center of the MCU since the first Avengers. It has been like we've been following what happens to that tower for movie after movie after movie. So if if it's the centerpiece, I want it to be the Fantastic Four.
Ooh, what if it got turned into Alchemex?
That could be something different. That'd be something like
that'd be super Spider-Man centric. But
yeah, I mean well, it's funny too because even like they asked Tom Holland, do you know who bought the building? And I think he said that he does know.
Yeah,
but that would be like because everybody's just pointing at Fantastic Four, but they could throw a curveball.
Was the like the flagship of of Stan Lee's vision for Marvel, so it was what started it all with him. But so it would have been like a great poetic beauty for them to be the new owners of that tower. But yeah, I don't know, whatever happens if it's good dramatically.
Interesting. I don't know, hopefully we'll find out. But I mean, I do like the fact that I mean obviously that was another secret that was not kept very well, which was the fact that Kingpin was going to be showing up. But and it's funny too because then you just kind of like you see that episode, go watch Spider.
Which I was thinking the same thing. Like if he's back, then that would kind of implicate towards somebody else potentially reprising the role.
Come on, Matt. But also, as far as Hawkeye's concerned, someone pointed out on Twitter that the scene where there's a scene apparently, and I don't know if we can like if it's been far enough along for us to say this, but like when Clint saves Kate from like he's about to fall and he saves her life and she's like hanging from the edge and he saves her. People pointed out that that really harkens back to Endgame where
I would agree.
To save Natasha, and it's like that is a beautiful parallel that he failed to save Natasha, but he saves Kate in that exact situation.
It's funny you mentioned that because I think they're also lightweight kind of setting up a similar relationship between Miss Yelena Belova and Kate Bishop, as the former had quite a friendship. So it would not at all surprise me if they wanted to try and keep that, friendly rivalry going between a Black Widow and a Hawkeye.
Yeah,
sure. And they're obviously going towards Young Avengers with Kate, and I know Black Widow doesn't really have a tie to that, but that could definitely tie into it.
I'm sure that's what they're probably going for. Hey, more Haley Steinfeld is okay with.
She's great.
Yeah.
I imagine you guys have seen the GIF going around of Haley Steinfeld.
Oh yes. Somebody said. Yeah. I was like, I saw it. I'm like, I'm not going to retweet that. I'll watch it over and over again. I'll retweet that. I should have probably retweeted it, but somebody sent it to me, and I was just like, yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
By the way, one of the most interesting
what is that from again?
One of the most interesting things about how the characters turn out as opposed to what happens in the comics is that in the comics, Natasha and Bucky hook up, and they have. And now, obviously, that can't happen because Natasha is dead, and as far as like Cap and what's her name, hooking up, like who's like
Carter? Or are you talking about?
Yeah, Sharon Carter like hooking up. He goes back in time. That can't happen. So at first I was thinking, why not just pair the spares and have Bucky and Sharon hook up? But whether that happens in the show, but he couldn't have the classic Black Widow, so maybe him and Florence Pugh.
Who? Oh, Bucky. Okay.
Bucky.
I mean, if he likes mac and cheese with hot sauce, then he's got an in.
I mean, they're both former brainwashed killers. They have that in common.
Yeah, they got that with them. They got that going for them.
Why in the comics it was so perfect for Bucky and Natasha to
True, yeah. I could see that, but well, I mean, there's definitely going to be more Yelena because she's like a superstar now. Now because everybody, regardless of what you felt about Black Widow, I wasn't too. I was like, but I like her character.
Right there with you.
And then even like whether you were or everybody always like talked about her, and then when she showed up again, it was like, all right, I gotta go. When are we giving her a show? Are they giving her a show? And it's like, I'm sure it's gonna. I would not be surprised early next year, especially after Hawkeye wraps up. They're probably gonna be like, oh yeah, by the way, we have a show. It's called The Widows or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think everything's going to TV so much now.
Yeah. So
she's gonna get some kind of series or something.
Black Widow movie. Finally, I thought they would make the next movies, next two. Make it a trilogy and have him be centered around her.
Around Yelena. Yeah. I don't know. She's good.
I'd be curious to see the Taskmaster armor pop up somewhere else down the line.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean,
that's certainly.
Didn't what's his name? They got all that stuff, right?
Oh yeah, General Ross did get all that stuff. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and aren't they gonna do like the Thunderbolts or whatever the hell? They're kind of leaning to that. Yeah,
I mean, what's her face already recruited John Walker.
That's true.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Which right.
Man, that post-credit.
I think it's been years since we've seen Julia Louis-Dreyfus in anything, have we?
Well, Veep.
Oh, Veep, yeah.
Yeah, Veep. So.
Yeah, that post-credit sequence in Black Widow was so good up until she shows up. Because she completely derails that sequence for me. Because I
totally does, and it's like, and then you kind of go like, what? Yelena didn't know she was there. I mean,
that's kind of the whole MO of Black Widow. Like,
yeah, they know, like they're very aware, and all of a sudden she just shows up, like just whatever,
and it blows her nose so obnoxiously. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, you try to create this connection with this family, and they blow it up with David Harbour in a fat suit or something just silly, and it should have some emotional weight with these recovering killers, and there's just so many moments that take you out of it, and the end credit scene was just the epitome of that entire movie.
Well, I mean that's always my issue with the MCU, and I even tweeted that out when I was watching Shang-Chi, and it's like that bus scene is so awesome, but then they have to have this dude live streaming and doing like commentary, and I'm like, why? You didn't need that. You already have Awkwafina doing her thing. That's your comic relief right there. Do you really need a second comic relief? No.
Yeah.
But they had to do it. It's like, oh yeah, well, this guy's like live streaming on a TikTok kind of thing. It's like, no, we didn't need that. Jesus.
You're exactly right, because I went to that movie and thinking, Awkwafina would be a little bit too much, but I thought she was,
she was fine.
She was just the right enough, and she is kind of that person. She was great in Crazy Rich Asians, and so I think her going crazy to see one of her best friends, fight like that, I thought that was appropriate, and you're exactly right about that.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, Shang-Chi was very enjoyable, but yeah, just sometimes just a little too much here, guys. I mean, and of course they bring back Ben Kingsley, which it works, and regardless of how anybody feels about that, I've always been one where I'm like, I like Iron Man 3. I didn't mind the twist. I get why people are pissed, but it's
besides, there was that little short film after Iron Man 3, which was all about how like the fake Mandarin was like, he was brought out of prison, but the person who brought him out of prison approaches him and says, oh, by the way, the real Mandarin is pissed at you.
Yeah,
it's All Hail the King. Yeah, it was like a short attached to Thor: The Dark World on physical release or something like that.
Right, and I think that was the best part about it, because you could still have a huge twist in Iron Man 3, but still have the 10 rings and canon, which it's the best of both worlds. And I remember you talking about Shang-Chi. I think it was last night's vodka stream. You were arguing about the CGI, and
Steven didn't. Yeah,
I kind of tend to think that the rings and the dragon were okay. But then there's this one shot of them all talking in front of the lake that looks like garbage. It's like,
Yeah, I know what scene you're talking about, and also like even during the final fight with the wing creatures kind of flying out and about, like you could tell some of that stuff was a little rough too.
Okay, yeah. The CGI is definitely not perfect, but I think what the thing was like, I didn't really notice what Steven noticed. Maybe if I watch again, I'd probably be like, oh shit, he was right. And because with the whole and like him on the dragon and stuff like that, maybe it does look a little rough. But overall, I mean, the fight between him and the Mandarin or his dad, I thought that was all very nicely done with all that. But yeah, I mean, the CGI, I mean, even with Spidey, there's sometimes, I mean, especially when he's in the iron suit and it's completely like mocap CGI, it gets a little, if he's not swinging around and doing flippy floppies and all this kind of stuff, when he's just walking or just you just really kind of see the in like the CGI, and I'm like, God, they can't just like smooth that out a little bit. I mean, it seems like they focus more on the web slinging, which I guess is good, because let's face it, like there's some I mean, if you thought some Mysterio scenes were really good in Far From Home, man, there's some really good Spidey swinging scenes in this, and we all know why.
Well, then of course with special effects with the MCU, like there's of course all like the de-aging tech with all the different scenes,
which was really good on Molina. I thought they actually did a very good job on that.
And Defoe.
And Defoe too. Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear, because like it is getting slowly better and better. I mean, I haven't seen this one yet, but as far as the MCU is concerned, like the very beginning of Guardians 2 with the younger like Kurt Russell, I think that was like some of the best de-aging I'd ever seen.
That was good, because that was partly prosthetics too. I think they did.
Yeah,
they actually de-aged him a little bit with makeup, and then they did the rest. And but when it came to Captain Marvel and Sam Jackson, it's like, you cleared up the wrinkles. Well, first off, he's not really old looking, but when he moves like old Sam Jackson.
I feel like Ant-Man did it pretty well with Michael Douglas Slattery as Old Man Stark.
I have to disagree, because like his mouth, like Michael Douglas's mouth, did not look good at all with the DH.
You didn't think so? I thought it looked okay. Yeah, and they also did it again in Endgame, and it was
That's true, they did. Yeah.
I know the de-aging, it's getting better.
Better. Yeah, because people have talked about how like Luke Skywalker at the very end of Mandalorian season 2,
right?
Even then, there's something odd about it. Like it kind of, I mean, it's better than Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One, but it's still like, in both cases it was passable, but there's something about it.
I gotta be honest, like I don't really like the look of Tarkin in Rogue One.
Well, again, yeah.
Well, Tarkin wasn't even a de-aging; it was a whole different actor,
right?
I mean,
Like, he looked like a solid video game character.
Yeah,
sure.
And oddly enough, and I gotta say, I felt like the Luke looked better, but it still looked kind of video game.
There's just something about like the lighting that they seem to like almost can't get like right. Yeah. Like when it came to Tarkin, I thought it was good enough, passable, because I was actually surprised how much screen time there was. I was like, damn, I didn't know he was going to have that many scenes in Rogue One.
Yeah.
But then, when it came to Luke and they revealed it, it was just kind of like, hey, it's Luke. And then he kind of go, oh, well, they did that, huh? They did like that. Honestly, okay. All right.
I get it. They wanted to redeem Mark Hamill. But look, the fans have all been calling for crying for Sebastian
Stan.
And you could have done that, but I don't know.
I think at the very least they could have at least maybe used his facial likeness to do over Luke's, but I don't know. You'd probably have to get him into contractual obligations to do something like that too. If not, I honestly wish they would have just maybe cast him in the role.
Yeah.
But he looks just like Mark Hamill did.
Exactly. Even Mark Hamill said this. Mark Hamill is like when he's congratulating Sebastian Stan on something on Twitter, he says, "Well done, my son."
Exactly. I mean, obviously, when there was like a picture of it was supposed to be a side by side of them. It was doctored a little bit, but if you just look at if Sebastian Stan were to put that hair on, it would be it'd be more passable than what's his name for Han Solo for sure. But so
that's. That I can understand that, but at the same time, I don't mind Alden Ehrenreich as
I don't either. I thought he was very likable, charismatic. Yeah, but I mean that movie suffered from so much shit.
Right.
That it's just like yeah.
But voice, like he had the voice down pat. Donald
Glover was pretty perfect as Lando.
Yeah.
Perfect. And also, like when they sing down and mean for the first time, and if you just close your eyes and listen to their voices, it's Harrison Ford and Billy D. Williams. Is like, well, I heard a lot about you. I don't know if any of it's true, baby. Everything you've heard about me is true.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely like. But it's such a weird thing too when it comes to that, because look at how well it worked for Star Trek. I mean, I thought them casting all the Chris Pine and Zach Quinto and all those guys.
Right. I think part of me is thinking that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I think they've been building out in between both trilogies, obviously because that's where you tell the stories. But the back of my mind, I think Dave Filoni eventually, his end game is to make a Luke, Leia, and Han in between trilogy based on the Tony Zahn books with Sebastian Stan and Aldrin and whoever is Leia, maybe Billy Lord, and they just do those books because they're so beloved. Tony Zahn's still involved, and I know those characters are coming up in Ahsoka Tano, and obviously Thrawn is coming. I think
just do like a strong adaptation of the Timothy Zahn trilogy, just with Ahsoka and Ezra as major characters. With that addition, there you go. Like where like Ahsoka and Ezra help Luke and Mara Jade form the new Jedi Order, and that there you go. It's perfect.
Yeah, they just. I mean, you got to get to the point where bite the bullet and just like, hey, we're gonna tell some more stories with these characters. Yes, this is the characters that you love. There's going to be different actors that's going to play it, you know, and but they always worry about like that kind of backlash because I mean, obviously when Solo came out, I mean that was kind of a mess and a lot of people were against it, and then it ended up not doing so well. It ended up being like,
But you have recasted Boba Fett, you've recasted Anakin Skywalker, you've had two actors play Obi-Wan, like it's something that you
see.
Can
that's
do,
where it did work.
That's
where it did work. Obi-Wan, you know, it's like.
And by the way, it's like having Mara Jade. And honestly, look, as someone who like, and I was one of those that was like highly critical of the prequel trilogy, even though I really liked the storyline ideas of it. Like I despise, what happened with, Lucas cannot write dialogue to save his life, but the Clone Wars series came out and it really redeemed the prequel era for me. So I'm telling people who are endlessly trashing the sequel trilogy, guys, do not rule out the possibility of a series like Clone Wars that clears everything up. Don't rule out that possibility.
I think they're trying to do.
I think Obi-Wan, if you have Hayden Christensen, I'm hoping and betting that they have some Clone War flashbacks, which would be awesome.
Because it wasn't.
There's no way they didn't.
They're going to fight for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't.
They're definitely going to fight, which a lot of people are not happy about. But I'm just kind of going like, well, I mean, the fight that they had in New Hope was cool, but it's two old geezers kind of fighting. You know?
Let's also be real. Like between Revenge of the Sith and between A New Hope, there's absolutely zero way that they did not cross paths in 25 years. Because New Hope, like Vader's lines do allow for the possibility of them encountering each other before at some point. It's just he's deliberately vague, like I sense something, a presence I've never felt since
and that's it.
Yeah, and also unless we forget in Return of the Jedi when Luke is like trying to appeal to Vader and like pleading with him to like change again. Oh, and what does Vader say? Obi-Wan once thought as you did, which you sure didn't act that way in Revenge of the Sith.
That's well, I mean, I think like if you could really play on that, it's like they cross paths when he's full on Vader. And you know what? I'm like, fuck it, just go. Let's see, and I want to see a rematch. I do. Also, I remember did you guys see that short film where somebody redid the lightsaber fight with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader? Man, that was like.
Well, balls to the wall. I love that. I really did.
That was like hardcore.
Yeah, but on that note, like a series that could clear up and fix up, the sequel era. Like I've been thinking for a while. Look, in the books, like Mara Jade was like her past was she was an Inquisitor. She was the Emperor's hand. She was an elite Inquisitor, but then like she's the last of them, and then she goes out. Her last mission basically is to find and kill Luke. They encounter each other, and then Luke turns her to basically like gets her love and all that. And so with that past, like she's always, even as Inquisitor, she had like a purple lightsaber like Mace Windu, so she was always like on the border.
When's he coming back?
Honestly, so I've been thinking, look, if Mara Jade died shortly before the fall of Ben Solo, that would have been the perfect way of explaining everything, because she would have been the perfect mentor to Ben in order to keep him from going to the dark side and being Kylo Ren. But she dies heroically or whatever, and Luke is at a loss with her death, and he doesn't know how to handle this issue, and Ben doesn't have anyone to guide him in this issue. So that leads to what happens.
I just feel like that was such a missed opportunity when Ben became good, and you know, because when he was good, I was like, wow, I like that. That's like Han Solo and Luke Skywalker mixed into one character. Can we get more of that? I mean, like the fact that like when you know he did the whole thing and he got the lightsaber from Rey, like, and then you know when he's taking on the Knights of Ren and he just like pulls it out and then he does that whole like, you know, I'm like, Jesus Christ. So what the hell? We're not, I mean, like, please, I want more of this. And then he fucking dies. And it's like, God damn it. Like, yeah, I wanted like a whole movie or a whole trilogy with this guy now.
Yeah, like a whole series of the new Jedi Order with Ben being like a key character. And then like
I have that Funko Pop, by the way. Yeah, there's a Funko Pop where he's like this, where he's got it like a lightsaber and he's like this. You know?
And I think I got lightsaber and a blaster. A lightsaber and a blaster to like
somebody there was like a fan art that I saw out there that literally showed that. It showed Ben Solo. So you have his blaster on his hip, and he's got a lightsaber on the other side. It's like, Jesus Christ, how badass would that have been? It's a combination of two great characters that, you know, that are in one.
Because like one of the great arcs of that encompasses all of Clone Wars is what happens to these four clones. Like there's Fives and Echo and so on, these four guys that start off together, and what happens to them over the course of the show that really defines, you know, what happens with the show, like with the inhibitor chip and so on. It culminates the inhibitor chip. So just have as a major arc in this series, this New Jedi Order series, you know, what happens to Ahsoka, what happens to Ezra, what happens to Mara, and basically at the end, Luke is alone and he doesn't know. He has to handle all this himself, and then the downfall happens with Ben. It is, again, it writes itself basically. It's the simplest thing.
Yep.
That's the one.
That's the one. Got it right over there. Yeah, so he's got kind of like his hand out like that, like he's doing that whole thing. When I saw that, I was like, all right, I gotta have that. I'm sorry. Because I love that moment, and I'm like, God damn, man, jeez. I was like, dude, we could have had like a whole thing on that, okay? You know, just like, because I mean, it's not like I liked him as Kylo Ren. Sure, he was, you know, annoying at times, but he was kind of a badass, and you know, I dug the character. But man, just like this whole arc of, if they would have, I mean, and they were kind of leaning towards that, maybe that they were trying to make him good in the second one, and it would have been kind of cool if like the entire third one was, I mean, it was called Rise of Skywalker. They could have been like, you know, this other Skywalker. We have two. Hey,
Rise of the Skywalkers.
Yes, or something like that. I don't know, man. It almost seemed like the sequel trilogy needed to be two trilogies. There was just like they wanted to cram so much in there, and it's like, all right, just take your time next time. Don't try to cram everything in 3 movies. But then again, it seemed like they didn't have a plan. You know, they sounded like they were fucking Warner Brothers. I don't know. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
I think they didn't put too much stock into their plan. And their plan was they wanted a different filmmaker on each movie. But with that said, they didn't really pull out the fine details prior to that.
And that's the worst part, because JJ had his plan written out for like how he would do the storyline after like Force Awakens. But then, you know, gave it to Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson just chunked it out.
Just like how Luke threw the lightsaber.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm okay with like what he was trying to do with Last Jedi, but at the same time, it felt like he was trying to set up his trilogy that is not happening anymore. I'm for sure that's not happening.
And of course, like him chunking like the lightsaber and all that. Again, this is one of those things where in Rise of Skywalker, when JJ has Luke catch the lightsaber in his hand and think the Jedi's weapon must be treated with respect, I was like, that was so JJ Abrams giving Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know. It seems like that, like you said, that they were just trying to, hey, we got to have 3 different directors. I mean, technically that's what happened with the original trilogy, is 3 different directors, but at the same time, they were all being, they had George Lucas there the whole time. And it's like, if you're going to do that, at least have JJ there going like, all right, this is what we're kind of doing here. I mean, do some stuff, but we want to keep it like this.
So have you ever watched the behind the scenes stuff between The Force Awakens and Last Jedi? Have you watched the behind the scenes stuff?
I have.
Okay.
Maybe.
So to put it, long story short, if you watch the behind the scenes footage of The Force Awakens, it's, J.J. Abrams, Kasdan, and they're all talking like, oh, we just wanted to make a really good Star Wars movie. We really wanted to honor what came before. But if you watch the special features and the behind the scenes to The Last Jedi, it is entirely all about Rian Johnson and how Rian Johnson is making a Star Wars movie and how Rian Johnson is making his Star Wars movie. And it's like, oh, but then you actually see him on the set. Dude looks like he might be about ready to crack from pressure. It's
I don't think I've watched the behind the scenes of any of that. I think I've maybe Force Awakens, but not The Last Jedi. No.
So I think there's a spot where him and Ram Bergman, his co-producer on a lot of his projects, like they're on the throne sequence and they're like sitting on the set and they're kind of trying to crack the title, but also at the same time he's just looking down and just kind of so deep in thought. And I'm like, what are you thinking about, Ryan? What's going through your mind right now? I wonder.
Yeah. I mean, that's if you get handed a Star Wars film, I mean, that's a tough order. I mean, as great as it is, but man, can that be a tough? I mean, Colin Trevorrow was going to be doing the 3rd one, and then all of a sudden it was like he just got it taken away from him. And when you hear details of what he wanted to do in that, you're kind of going, yeah, that would have been kind of cool, but man, I don't know.
Trying to be consistent with what Johnson was doing, but
This is why I'm so glad that Zack Snyder is now doing his own version of a Star Wars type movie, but it's going to be 100% him. I mean, okay, when people talk about like, oh my God, Lucasfilm, what were they thinking when they passed up? I'm like, I'm glad they did. Would you want Zack Snyder to be stranglehold to what Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy all want? No.
You're missing the point. To be fair, Dave, you're almost missing the point of the problem was that they were not willing to do that, to just step back and let him do it. Because I
think Lucasfilm has that problem a lot. They can't step back enough, or at least, I don't know who exactly, but obviously, there's some people over at Lucasfilm who just cannot let people do what they want as far as storytelling goes. But then you look at stuff like Mandalorian, you look at Book of Boba Fett, you look at Obi-Wan, and they're just like, they're letting them do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And we got Carrie joining right now. What's up, sir?
Hi, Carrie. How you doing?
Hello. You're a little choppy, but you'll be all right. But hey, you just got back from Spider-Man, huh? Can you hear us?
I did.
Oh, okay, you did. Yeah. I think you might be a little choppy.
I can hear you guys,
now. Okay. I think it might be a little delayed, but what'd you think? No spoilers, by the way. We're not talking spoilers. Eric hasn't seen it yet.
I mean, it's fine if you want to say something because we've been asking.
Absolutely loved it.
Okay. Yeah, your internet's a little delayed. It seems like your connection, but we'll see if it clears up. No, we're just that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah.
But I was saying about Rebel Moon. I'm really looking forward. I really am looking forward.
Yeah, that's gonna fall in more with Dune than Star Wars.
I think it's just because it's like, the fact that they passed up on his pitch, and now he spent the last 12 years essentially just going, all right, well, we're just gonna come up with our own mythology of all this, and so that's where I'm like, hell yeah.
fairly obvious. I mean, it's still fairly obvious as to what the movie was going to be if it had been accepted as a Star Wars movie, because it would have.
I still think it would have been like a Seven Samurai kind of pitch.
It's Seven Samurai, but it's like about 7 Jedi who were in hiding after Order 66, and that basically, I think it's pretty apparent that it's Ahsoka Tano as the Yul Brynner characters putting the team together, basically. And yeah, because honestly, like Sophia Boutella would have been a great Ahsoka. I mean, I love Rosario Dawson as live action Ahsoka, but obviously like Sophia Boutella like would have been a great Ahsoka too. But it's like her putting together like
she's gonna be
7 Fallen Jedi.
She's gonna be so goddamn good. My God.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a casting dump around the new year.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be what's going to be happening. That's got to be. I mean, I would not be surprised if.
Which, by the way, I did name check Sophia Boutella last time we talked.
Yeah, that was you. Oh yeah, that was you. I said Aaron last. I thought it was Aaron Bailey. That was you. Sorry, Doug. Because last night, a couple of eggnogs. I was like, I think it was Aaron. But it was you, Doug. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was Doug that said that's right. I remember that was we tweeted that out and everything. All right, welcome back, Carrie. I think you're a little bit better. Yeah.
Is it better?
It's a little bit better. You're not delayed anymore. You're just a little pixely, but you're fine.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you for joining, man. How you
been?
On
that note, though, guys, I have to take off. I'm gonna get some sleep. My nose is all stuffed up. So.
Oh yeah, man. Feel better, dude.
Thank you, man.
Drink some water.
Always fun, guys.
Yeah, always fun, Phil. Appreciate it. Follow Phil, the unfiltered, unfiltered.
Yeah, with 3 Ds.
Not 3 Ds. There you go. I like it.
You guys
all right,
take it
man.
easy. Happy holidays to you.
All right, take it easy.
Thanks, Phil.
You have a good Christmas.
Yeah,
right.
I am still like with that casting dump. You know, I am looking forward to who else will show up on this one, because now you remember a previous episode we were all talking about like who could we see being part of this cast, and we're all throwing the ideas around. I mean, like Zach's talked about wanting to work with Anne Hathaway. I mean, and I brought up Emma Watson, like, of course, for 2 reasons. Number one, I mean, like I said before, would any of us had looked at Emily Browning before Sucker Punch came out?
Oh, yeah.
Action Girl? No. But the other reason was the role that Emma Watson is most known for, obviously, is Hermione Granger in Harry Potter. So it just linking that, it's pretty easy to link that, like the great sorceress or witch to a great Jedi. So somehow I think that would fit.
See, okay, but I mean, one of the things that we talked about even last night too, and we've talked about it before. It's like Zach has a knack for casting. I mean, let's face it, the man sees something in people, like, and he doesn't go. His first thought is not, oh, is this person a name? No, I mean, even I think Ray Porter, he even said that he heard that. Of course, the studio, Warner Brothers, pushed back on his decision to have Ray because they probably wanted somebody who was a name. But now he fought to be like, no, this is the guy. Listen to this voice. That is the guy. He's, Zach's one of those. It's like, if he knows who, if he sees when he's writing with his writers or whatever the hell he's doing, he's got a visual of who should play this role, and then when he's doing the casting or when he's going through and looking at headshots or whatever, he knows. Like, he's looking, he's like, when it comes to Justice League, I mean, pretty much the only big name was Ben Affleck at the time. I mean, when even before Justice League, when Cavill, who the fuck know who Cavill was? I remember I thought it was Henry Cavill. Who the hell's that guy? Yeah, I mean, he kind of looks like Superman.
Yeah. I mean, like in Man of Steel, the biggest names were the supporting characters, like what was Russell Crowe.
Yes, Amy Adams was even more of a name.
Amy Adams, Fishburne.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he sees something in that, in everybody, and like he saw something in Ezra, he saw something in, obviously Jason Momoa, and Jason Momoa, he can't stop praising Zach for like saving his career. Same with Gal. And Ray Fisher, nobody knew who he was when that, and then he fucking nailed that role. And Ezra, I remember even me kind of going like, who that? Really? They're gonna cast him as Barry? What the? But then he was so goddamn likable in the damn movie. So
it's funny because like before Justice League, I think like the thing that Ezra Miller was like known for any at all was for Perks of Being a Wallflower, where he was with Emma Watson.
What's funny about that is like the first time I saw Ezra Miller was an episode of Californication, or he was in a season of Californication, which I love that show. And I was like, I seriously went, I remember that kid. Yeah, because he was like in high school. He was like really young in that. Because that was like back in like 2010. So he was really young. So I don't know. He was probably like, I don't know how old he is. But
I mean,
yeah,
before we knew the casting for Darkseid, I mean, I was throwing around ideas, and obviously, like, I'm not going to think of nobodies when thinking of, who would you cast for XYZ. But I was thinking, like, it would be fun if we had Ryan Perlman as Darkseid and David Harbour as Orion. Because we have the two Hellboys as Darkseid and Orion. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
But I like the casting. We don't have the that inside joke, but there you go.
You know what I would love to see in terms of casting for Rebel Moon?
What?
I'd like to see a Gerard Butler Zack Snyder reunion.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Now you're talking. I like that.
Together since 300. So, and Gerard Butler always talks about how much he loved working with Zack on that movie and how impressed he was by him. So, yeah, why not bring him back as a supporting character or a villain or something like that? Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to see him as a villain. I'd like to see him as a villain.
Yeah. Oh, trivia note as far as Gerard Butler. The whole, like, in 300, like, when he shouts out, "This is Sparta," the shouting out was an improv he did for a take. Because they were doing several takes where he was just doing it straight-hearted, like, "Madness, this is Sparta," or something like that. But one take where he was getting a little tired, and he just, you know what, I'm just going to go balls to the wall, and he shouted out the line. Yeah. And Zack loved that, so says, okay, let's use that take.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what's so great about it. I mean, that's why, that's what everybody usually says about Zack is like he's very collaborative. He goes, okay, yeah, do it like this, but feel free to just put your own oomph in it, and if it works, it works. And I mean, that's when he casts these people, he's not going, okay, you're now in my movie, you do what I say. No, he's like, all right, feel free to freaking, give me notes. We'll turn it down or not. I mean, and he's not a combative dude at all. And that's why these people love working with him because he's very much like flexible of like, hey, maybe this will work better with this. And sure enough, that's an example right there, because now that when you think of that movie, you think of that line 100%. So. Go ahead. I thought you were going to say something, Doug.
Oh, I was just saying it's the end of the year, and unfortunately, I'm thinking it probably hinges on the production studio actually putting them up. But it's a shame that we're stuck with WB with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and they're not putting them up for FX, Oscars, and Golden Globes, and Ray Fisher for Best Supporting Actor.
They were
things like that.
They were
pushing
not.
For that as criminal.
Okay. No, you're good, Carrie. Don't worry. I think it's just, I don't know, it might be a StreamYard thing, but you're not delayed anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like not the problem.
Yeah, don't worry, you're fine. They weren't gonna push any of that. You know how like with every movie, no matter what it is, whether it's a superhero movie or not, they always try to be like, they try to submit it for that. Yeah, they weren't even gonna like even give it a chance. I mean, this is what sucks, because I even said this. I said this the other day because there's somebody that was, with all these people that are basically giving the reaction to Spider-Man No Way Home, and when I see the people that are already comparing it to like the Flash and saying that the Flash doesn't stand a chance, that's why I tweeted out my joke tweet that got taken way too serious, which I knew it would. And I was like, all right, because I wrote out 5 different versions. I'm like, how can I poke fun at the people who are doing this, but then I also want to see. I also want to see like a reaction and like get in, and sure enough, it did. Like it went, and I got some funny reactions where people literally deleted their tweets when I said like when I joked at them, going, "Yeah, you took it too seriously," and all of a sudden I tried to click on their tweet and it was deleted because I was like, "Yeah, you realize you fucked up," you know. But it was. I hate the fact that people are doing that because it's like, well, first off, The Flash doesn't come out for 11 months. It's like, yeah, I can understand you could be a little bit, you know, they deal with the multiverse, sure. But at the same time, it's like, well, The Flash has always dealt with the multiverse. And not to mention, back in 2019, they already touched on the multiverse when it came to The Flash. Where was I going with this? But no, I hate it when like people like do that. And there's a lot of talk about all that. There's a lot of talk about like the comparison of all that. And I mean, Zach, I mean, even with Justice League, oh yeah, I saw people, you know, they call it the flush and whatever the hell, and it sucks because it's like, well, we have to remember that yes, Warner Brothers sucks and the regime that's still running it sucks, but there's a chance that those guys are not going to be there when the Flash comes out. Yeah. Okay, we have to realize that Discovery is coming out. They're going to be taking over in about April, I guess. And so this comes out in November. So I'm kind of going like, you know, if anything, we should be really rooting for this because by that time, I don't think Toby's going to be there. I don't think Anne's going to be there. I don't know what Hamada is going to be doing. Who knows? But that's why I'm kind of like, maybe we should be rooting for this because this will be the new regime.
If it's gonna take that long after the merger for the movie to come out, I'm pretty sure there's enough time for some additional photography.
Yeah, there's some echo happening. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I didn't quite get all that, but yeah.
You know the reason why for that reaction though, it's purely because we don't trust Warner Brothers. We don't trust Warner Brothers to do it right. They have lost our trust for the longest time. Whereas even people who hate the MCU can at least acknowledge they've earned the audience's trust and they've earned the trust of the fans.
Yeah, they told it.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, at the same time,
that's where it's coming from. It's like a lot of people saying I don't trust Warner Brothers and the Flash to be able to pull this off. Right, to be able to pull this off as well, because clearly Marvel knows what they're doing. Warner Brothers still doesn't have the track record to show that they know what they're doing on those. So can we really have any real confidence that it's going to work?
No, I mean I understand that, and trust me, I have my concerns. I do, but I like Muschietti, I like Miller, and I like, you know, obviously I've talked to you know, DJ and Hirota. Those guys are Zach's guys that are doing the VFX. So I'm really rooting, and I love the character too. So I'm really rooting for the movie. I'm not, you know, I get it. The studio sucks, but at the same time, and like, again, when the new regime will be there, I mean, obviously they're running things right now when the movie's being made, which, yeah, that does suck. And that's one of the main reasons why Fisher's not going to be in it. I mean, 100% the Muschiettis were trying so hard to get him in the movie. They were on the side of Fisher. I have said that so many times, and I'm like, that's why I'm like, it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, but again, you said that like if you say like the merger, like the new regime comes in around April or around there, but the movie itself comes out in November, I would think that might be enough time for Muschietti to do some additional photography. Otherwise, what you think?
Say that last part again.
I would think that considering the time between like when you estimate the new regime comes in, like you said, around April or so, you said, but the movie itself comes out in November.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that give Muschietti, in theory, give him enough time to do?
Oh, to like put Fisher in there if he needed for like a scene or something. Yeah. You know what? I would love that. I mean, who knows? Maybe that could do something. Yeah. Where it's like, you know, they can like sneak him in there somehow. I don't know. I mean, I like where your head's at. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't bet on it, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like once the people that are, you know, if the house gets cleaned, that we're hoping that Zaslav does, if he cleans house, then maybe something could be injected in there. I don't know.
Either way, it's just bad faith for people to look at a great MCU movie, and even if you're not the biggest Marvel fan, start taking pot shots at a movie that we've barely seen shots of.
Well, and we're talking about the 8th Spider-Man movie and the first solo Flash movie. I mean, like, and that's why I was like, I don't get the comparison. I mean, I mean, I do get it because multiverse and bringing back characters, sure, because we're all obviously bringing back Keaton and other characters, but I'm just at the same time, and I'm like, man, why? I mean, just appreciate Spider-Man. You don't need to bring in something else and start shit. And it's just like, That's why it was kind of funny because I got people that were in defense of the Flash that were like in my mentions, like coming, responding to it. And I was like, and I kept on when they would like give me shit for my tweet, I was like, hey, I like where your head's at. And then they were like, I don't get your response. I'm like, that's because you took my tweet too seriously. And I'm like, I'm totally rooting for the Flash. And then they're like, oh shit. I'm like, thank you. Yeah. See, I'm acting like one of those people, because it wasn't just like certain Snyder people that were shitting on it. It was also MCU people that, MCU fans, Spidey avatars that were also going, good luck, Flash. So it wasn't like I was just making fun of like it was like multiple. Just when I saw that on the timeline, I was like, get the hell out of here. Stop talking. Who cares? It's coming out now. Yes, and not all the footage that we saw was the greatest. I know the helmet looks a little weird. Yeah. Who said? Oh, I thought somebody said something. Sorry. I think there's a little.
I was going to respond to what you're saying. I mean, like, I think in theory, yeah, but like, remember that Cyborg takes a lot of special effects work. So even if they were to do a shoot like 6 months before it comes out, can they render those few scenes in that short period of time?
It would have to be a quick shot.
How long did Zack have to do the additional photography shots for Justice League?
That's true. I think that was like he shot those back in October and it came out in March. So I mean, it can't be like a long scene for sure,
right?
But maybe something where it's like a short exchange. It would just be nice to see them two just talking to each other for a little bit, maybe, and But I think but you're right. It would take a lot of work to do that. But at the same time, you got October, November, December. I mean, you're talking about what, like less than 6 months before that. So I mean,
they could probably find other way if they don't have the time to do the CGI on Cyborg. They could easily just have them talk with like Superman or Bruce or Diana, and that would be a lot less work to get them into it if they needed to build out a little bit more connectivity as far as Zack Snyder's Justice League and where they might want to be projected where they're trying to go.
Maybe the emotional like triumph of bringing back Ray Fisher after all that he's been through this past year, I would think.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, it's a long shot. It's definitely a long shot. But I mean, but at the same time, I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. The Muschiettis were trying very hard to keep Fisher in there, but it just wasn't in the cards, sadly. And I love the fact that Ray actually came out and said that he had conversations with them and he's told. I mean, that's the thing, and that's why, like, when the whole debate of everything happens, it's like, do not put anything on the Muschiettis. They tried. That's why I'm rooting for this movie, because I know that they're trying to give something good out there. I mean, Ezra, we all like Ezra, and then I mean, Ben is back. I mean, we're gonna get Ben Affleck as Batman for a little bit again. It's just like, ugh.
I mean,
we're gonna get so much Batman next year.
I mean, I'm looking forward to Flash. I'm looking forward to Black Adam. Looking forward to Shazam. I'm really looking forward to Batgirl with all that news about J.K. Simmons and all this rumbling about Batfleck coming in.
I mean, I saw that too. I mean, who knows? I haven't heard anything when it comes to my end. I've asked people if they've heard anything, and I've not heard anything. So who knows what's gonna with Batgirl? I mean, it seems obvious that he should be in there, but then all of a sudden we hear this rumor that Wonder Woman might be in Shazam too, and then that kind of makes sense because right after Gal had her recent baby, she was taking posts of like getting back into it, and she was at Warner Brothers studio in London. So
Patty's schedule just opened up too.
Yes. I mean, there's just like, there's interesting things that are happening with that. So like when I heard Shazam 2, I'm like, that makes sense, but I would not be surprised if she shows up in Aquaman. I mean, I think she might have had like a couple of weeks or a week or something like that when she was visiting and whatever. She might have shot a scene in Aquaman. She might have shot a scene for Shazam. I would not put it past it because it seemed like all the pieces are there, and I would not be surprised if she's going to be in Shazam, or if she's also going to be in Aquaman as well. I would not be surprised.
I mean, we all want to be Henry Cavill as the more emotional triumph.
That's the thing. Cavill has been a little bit of a mystery because you hear things that I'm thinking he might be in the Flash, and then you go, maybe he's in Black Widow, Black Adam. It's like, oh.
That'll be fun. Another Marvel crossover with DC.
Well, he was supposed to be in the first Shazam, and that ain't really.
Yeah, that didn't really work out. Well, you know why? I mean, they try to lowball him, man. They what I heard about that was like they were just going like they were going to pay him barely anything. Like it was like not going to be like it was. They were lowballing him so much because he was. I think it was like he wanted. It was like, yeah, okay, and then we're gonna also. We're gonna get more, right? Like more. They were just trying to like lowball him way too much, apparently, when it came to that. So he was too busy. Of course, we got The Witcher and everything like that. So it was like it just was not worth it. Which they should have just eliminated that scene altogether. If that was the case, it's like if you're not gonna have him, just eliminate the scene because I don't like that. I like Shazam, but I don't like that scene.
Yeah, I think Superman makes sense for the first Shazam movie.
Yeah, it's because like.
Gal shows up in whenever Gal shows up in Shazam, which is going to cut out her torso and have a floating head with legs hanging around too, or
let's hope not. Now we need to see all of her in there because come on.
It's like if you've seen like the deleted scenes of the first Shazam, like there was an alternate final scene where the kids are like. Basically, like they're chilling and they're watching basically like a Rick and Morty type Halloween thing, cartoon or whatever. But then they hear a call like to action, and then they go out and they start flying and all that, and then boom, cut to black. It was a cool like alternate scene, and he actually said, what alternate scene that they shot in case they thought that the Superman thing just worked out.
Yeah, and I mean. And by the way, Zach actually likes Shazam too. By the way, I don't know if anyone. Yeah, Zach likes Shazam. I mean, he did. Like him and his whole family like Shazam. So
that's actually my favorite solo, other than Man of Steel.
Because it's a very enjoyable movie. It's just like I'm actually gonna watch it soon because it's a Christmas movie, even though it was released not in Christmas time. It's a Christmas movie, so it's gonna be in the rotation this year.
I did that last year. Yeah. Also, I did that last year, and I still got to the headless Superman scene. It still killed every bit of enjoyment that I had. The previous
just
I can't keep fooling myself.
When the initial story like wraps up, maybe I'll do that too. Or I'll just like turn it off like before headless Superman shows up.
By the way,
it's not like credits. Yeah.
Say that again, Carrie. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
That scene is right before the credits, so it's not like it's a mid-credit scene or anything like that.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, just and then it ends very. And I don't know if I really like the how the credits were because it reminded me very much of Homecoming, and I'm like, you guys like very Homecoming like. So I'm just gonna stop the movie right before all that.
I really like the credit scenes, but I really like the credit scenes. Although, if Dr. Sivana and the Worm, apparently they're not in the sequel, which is why when I hear that, I was like, so why did they have that scene at all of the credits?
Well, do we know that either? I mean, yeah, obviously, like from what we've seen, that they're not, but you never know. You never know. There could be some kind of presence, and maybe they're leading to obviously like a Shazam 3. A Black Adam crossover too,
Well, in that case,
I mean, what if there's a Black Adam post-credit scene that has Dr. Savannah. You know, there might be something that, you know, I don't know.
They better have another credit scene with those two in order to explain it, because Chekhov's gun, whatever you set up, you have to pay off.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I think they will pay it off. But
by the way, you brought up like that great, you know, that fan edit of Vader and Obi-Wan fighting. Did anyone see that fan edit of the headless Superman scene where you see his head? His head's right there, and he talks to us, "Hey guys," and he's in the black suit. Y'all see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
I really love that. I was like, that's so great.
And it's just like it sucks too, is because it's like, man, couldn't they just do? I don't know. It's just I just don't like that scene. I'm like, just if you didn't get Cavill, you didn't get just don't even put it in there. But of course they wanted it in there so much. But yeah, I mean, I remember just having a conversation earlier this year about the movies, and Zach is actually I like that movie, so that's for people out there that want to have that discussion. But yeah, I mean, it's an enjoyable film. It's an enjoyable film. Wonder Woman 84, Birds of Prey. I mean, yeah, those ones struggle a little bit. What can you do? Yeah. Anyways, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up. We're 2 hours in, so we'll go ahead and do this right now. And I appreciate you guys joining in tonight. Obviously, Will and Phil, we thank them. Thank you guys. You guys help out the pirate ship. I mean, we consider you guys part of the Film Junkee empire, because keeping things going and things and everything, and really enjoy that. So we'll go around the horn. Go ahead, Eric. Promote yourself.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Hardboiled Films, and also keep following the Just Our JL Motion comic, and it's quite Sunset of the Gods. We'll have more announcements coming in, including a certain potential very big announcement that some of the YouTube members might be aware of us trying to set up.
Ooh, interesting. All right. Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Jacob, got anything to promote yourself with?
No. I'm drunk. You can't think straight.
Yeah. Well, if only that girl would recognize that, hey, you're on a stream right now talking nerdy stuff.
I dealt with that all the time.
Hey, it happens. All right, Carrie.
KM, not really. KM Vanderberg on Twitter if you feel like following me. And I am on my Christmas break in Colorado.
There you go.
Friday, and I'm on my 2-week Christmas break.
That's right. I guess you got the teacher's holiday. Yeah. My brother and Scott, man, when they're talking about it, I'm like, damn, lucky, whatever. But how's Colorado going right now? You're just at home. You're at home with the family right now, right?
Home with the family, yeah. So it's good. My brother is back in the States. He's lived in Europe for the last 18 years.
Wow.
So he relocated back here. So he's, just as I moved to California to start my work, a month later he moves back to the U.S. and moves in. So, cool thing for us seeing Spider-Man tonight. He was the one who introduced me to Spider-Man in comics. Way back when. He actually. Oh, that's him walking in right now.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, Carrie's brother? How you doing?
Tribute.
All right, nice meeting you. All right, Doug.
I'm a teacher too, so I'm going on break in 3 days.
Man.
I got finals coming up. But Doug Verby at Doug Verby on Twitter. Thank you to Dave, the graphic novel junkie.
Sorry,
I had to put that in there.
No, that's good. That's good. I love it.
So we're closing up. By the way, obviously, this is like. We're ending for Christmas and for I would imagine there's no VOG stream whatever for around New Year's. So
no.
I'll just say and I was trying. I remember last New Year's I was trying to see. I asked you about this. You didn't know what I was talking about. The definitive New Year's song
Auld Lang Syne, which you may remember from the very end of It's a Wonderful Life, like da 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 da.
May all
Now,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Auld Lang Syne literally means days long past. Basically, it's a song about reminiscing about the good old days.
Okay, that's good. No, it's good. Yeah, it's a great
Happy
song.
New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Yes, happy holidays, and appreciate you guys. And another fun Patreon stream. We'll do it. We'll do it again next month, of course. And if you want to join in, of course, join the Patreon. And you guys are awesome. Join the Film Junkee Empire, which hopefully in 2022 it gets bigger, it gets grander, it gets more exciting, and everything. Because it's really been an exciting year. It's really been an exciting year, and collaborating with people and just talking with new people and having great discussions. It's all been fantastic. And more is going to happen next year. And yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching tonight. And thank you to the panel. We'll talk to you guys later.